Hey, have you heard about VPC Endpoints for S3 bucket?
Yes, I have. It's an essential service for securing access to S3 resources.
Definitely. Did you know that by default, all communication between servers and S3 routes through the internet?
Yes, and that's why it's essential to create VPC endpoints for S3 buckets to protect data transmission and save costs.
Why do we need VPC Endpoints for S3?
VPC endpoints for S3 provide a secure link to access resources stored on S3 without routing through the internet. AWS doesn't charge anything for using this service.
That's great. How do we create S3 VPC endpoints?
We can create S3 VPC endpoints by following simple steps. Firstly, open the VPC dashboard under Services option and locate Endpoints item in the navigation bar. Then, click on Create Endpoint, search for S3, and choose the VPC in which you want to add the VPC endpoint.
What are the types of VPC endpoints?
There are two types of VPC endpoints, Interface Endpoint and Gateway Endpoint. We will talk about S3 VPC endpoints, which is a type of gateway endpoint.
That's informative. How many endpoints can we create in a single VPC?
We can create multiple endpoints in a single VPC to multiple services. We can also create multiple endpoints for a single service and use different route tables to enforce different access policies from different subnets to the same service.
That's great. How does routing work for gateway endpoints?
While creating the S3 endpoint, we specified VPC route tables that will be attached to the endpoint. A route will be automatically added to the route table with a destination that specifies the prefix list ID of the S3 service and a target with the endpoint ID starting with VEPS.
That's informative. What's the conclusion?
AWS VPC endpoints act as a logical link between different AWS services that are fully secure and free to use. It doesn't leave the AWS network but routes through the AWS internal network. Instances having no access to the internet can still access different AWS services by using endpoints.